I think that this re-release is a cash grab, and here's why. Coming directly from the source, and the source being Deadline, Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version with added and extended scenes to swing into theaters this September. In celebration of 60 years of the Spider-Man comic book character and 20 years of Spider-Man films, Sony announced today that a fan cut? What the hell's a fan cut? Did a fan actually cut this together? Of its massive hit, Spider-Man No Way Home, dubbed the Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, will hit theaters this Labor Day holiday in the US and Canada with added and extended scenes. Other countries will be added soon, according to a post on Sony's social media. Tickets will go on sale Tuesday, August 9th, just about 4 days from my birthday, and screenings starting Friday, September 2nd. And along with this announcement, Sony, as well as the official Spider-Man Twitter account, posted this clip of the 3 Spider-Man from behind the scenes saying, "I'm Spider-Man," clip of the 2 of them talking from the ending of No Way Home, with a simple screen grab saying the more fun stuff edition, ending with a very awkward screen grab of that meme. I mean, that meme only works if it's an actual picture, guys. You guys are understanding your memes, right? Because you guys, Sony, and I'm speaking to you, Sony, directly, you re-releasing Morbius in theaters clearly demonstrates that you guys don't get memes. You guys don't get meme culture, all right? Someone over there needs to either be fired or be taught a lesson. But this is frustrating. I share the sentiment with a lot of people that despite loving Spider-Man No Way Home, I have the steelbook right here, not only because I've seen this movie already twice in theaters, but also a third time on home media via the 4K edition with the steelbook that I have right here. It's always a little heartbreaking to see a situation like this be taken advantage of, and who better to do that than with Sony? Sony's the one that's giving us an El Muerto movie with Bad Bunny trying to create an acting career of some kind by playing Mexican characters, even though he's clearly not Mexican, to Morbius getting re-released in theaters like I mentioned before, and now to make up for the not only one-time flop but two-time flop of Morbius, and that's my personal theory, they are re-releasing Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters September 2nd with a more fun stuff edition. Now, why is that? Well, that's because if you happen to own Spider-Man No Way Home on some kind of home media, whether it be a 4K Blu-ray or like the steelbook here before you, you'll notice that when you flip to the back of the box or even pop in the disc and load up the special features, you'll notice that they advertise the home media edition with over 80 minutes of bonus content, including a blooper and gag reel, which are not made the way that they used to back in the day. Bloopers and gag reels used to go on for like 6 or 7 minutes long. It would be a very chunk full of laughs and good times had on the set. And now these days they're only like 2-3 minutes, sometimes even less than that. What happened? Bring back classic gag reels from like the early to mid 2000s. Those were glorious. You also get some other bonus behind the scenes material, some of which are called alternate reality Easter eggs, a multiverse of miscreants. Alternate reality Easter eggs are like these pop-up things that show, oh, this is from Earth, blah, blah, blah. A multiverse of miscreants, Enter Strange, a meeting of the spiders, which spoiled the big meeting between Toby and Andrew and Tom, which is why I made the case when I covered this thing, why they couldn't take advantage of that either on the front cover art or on the inside cover art, but I digress. And more. Unfortunately, that and more does not include any kind of deleted scenes. And I'm not necessarily the first one to notice this or even vocalize the opinion, because it was actually back during the home release of this thing in April 12th, when a lot of these websites broke that at the last second, it does look like Sony pulled the deleted scenes from the Blu-ray release. The marketing and promotion for the film's physical home media release advertised that it would come with 90 minutes of bonus content, including deleted and extended scenes. However, as the Direct reports, so I probably should have referenced the Direct article in the first place, the actual Blu-ray now lists 80 minutes of extra footage instead of 90, and instead of deleted and extended scenes, it names a featurette called Spider-Man Unite, which is the one that I just mentioned from the back of the box art. This happens to match the bonus content included in the movie's Blu-ray release in the UK, which was a week ago, which leads many disappointed fans to blame Sony for false advertisement. And now we know the clear understanding why. Here we have a little bit more. It was, in fact, previously reported that the Spider-Man No Way Home Blu-ray would include 100 minutes of extra content, and an image from one of the film's deleted scenes was even revealed online, pictured above, which shows pretty much Peter, the villains. You know how, hopefully this is not considered a spoiler anymore, but when Peter makes the humongous blunder, and some would argue the plot hole of bringing all the villains to the condo. There's a deleted scene of them awkwardly standing in the elevator, and that's actually one of the deleted scenes. This was one of a few deleted scenes that were teased by the filmmakers throughout the movie's home media marketing campaign. And now it turns out that it was not a mishap. This wasn't an error. This was no marketing snafu. It was Sony holding back the deleted scenes at the very last second to then release the more fun stuff alternate cut. And what makes it very frustrating is it's kind of generated by the protectiveness of how much I really like this film, and to see it getting taken advantage of, especially when you know that somehow deep inside, I can't shake the feeling, and again, it's a theory that I already kind of touched upon, that this wouldn't have happened if they didn't make the goddamn Morbius movie and double dipped it. Now, granted, the double dip came after the home release of No Way Home, but that initial bomb back in the beginnings of April 1st, was when Morbius came out. Just a little under 2 weeks later is when we finally get our home release of Spider-Man No Way Home. As the guy from Incredible said, coincidence? I think that. What makes this also a little bit more hurtful is knowing that most of the time, whenever they really release these things in theaters, it generally doesn't pan out. It never really creates a whole new vision or a new interpretation of the film. It says the recent articles that revealed the whole More Fun Stuff edition published by Sony, that it was going to be including 5 extra scenes. We pretty much already know one of them, which is going to be this elevator ride. I'm telling you right now, if it only expands the running time by like a couple of seconds, or if it's just like alternate angles and takes of a sequence that's already in the film, it's really not worth my time. Now, I know that there's a couple of articles, one of them being that direct article that was being referenced in the Screen Rant ones, or one of the other ones that I referenced on my phone, did mention that there are apparently some extra scenes that were shot with, spoilers for No Way Home in case you're one of the 2 people that haven't seen it, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. Apparently, he shot some more stuff that didn't make it into the final cut, according to him, actually. He was the one that said that it didn't really get made it into the final version of the theatrical film. So it's possible that maybe we'll get more Daredevil. That's fine. There was another article that showed apparently some previous video of the visual effects department digital domain that had alternate sequences of not only the fight between the 3 Spider-Man as well as the villains, but also explains how they got there in the first place, which frankly, we can kind of piece that together ourselves. You know, Ned now has his super portal out of the blue powers, so he could have easily just created a portal, and apparently the previous video from digital domain showcases them going through a portal, and that's how they end up at the Statue of Liberty. But at the same time, like, why would we need extra material of that? There's a reason for stuff like that to be cut. If there was like a very true director's cut that was meant to be John Watts' vision, I would completely understand that for that to be the more fun stuff version. But if it ultimately just ends up being this case of like, oh, well, these things that could have physically ended up on this thing right here, we're just gonna withhold that just to kind of make a quick buck, then, you know, Sony, of course, this is nothing new for Sony, but to just bring that form of debauchery to a movie that I generally have an affinity for, it's just really angering and frustrating. Although, I might admit, it might be worth the price of admission if it means that one of those 5 scenes is going to be the much anticipated and rather asked for confrontation between the Toby Peter and Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. A lot of people were upset that they didn't actually interact with each other, considering that they were literally feet away from each other. So to actually see something come out of that, I would probably say may bring me in for a second watch. It depends on the runtime. If they come out saying that it's adding a whole nother 10 minutes to the film, I'm probably going to go see it and come back and give you guys my interpretation, my review, my take, full transparent of what it was like to watch the More Fun Stuff edition and whether or not it's worth your time. If they're only adding like a couple of minutes, and I already know ahead of time that one of those is filled up by a few seconds in an elevator with the villains, then this is definitely something that was maliciously kept back from the home release, and that's probably where it belonged in the first place. The fact that they were originally going to do that and only pulling it at the last second, conveniently after Morbius bombed, it just speaks for itself, so to speak, and it just screams cash grab from the high hills. And I know that a lot of you are probably watching this video going, tell me something that I don't know, but it's just something that I needed to kind of vocalize as a huge Spider-Man fan, and even more concentrated here, a Spider-Man No Way Home fan that was making very argumentative cases for this film. Now to see it be exploited the way that it is, it just makes me think, all right, enough of this movie. All right, now I'm starting to feel the No Way Home saturation, along with all the others that are ready to move on. So for you Spidey fans, let me know in the comment section below. Couple of questions. One, how many times have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters? How many of you have seen No Way Home at all? How many times exactly? And is this a make or break to revisit Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters of this more fun stuff cut? Now knowing that you can technically buy the 4K or Blu-ray at any moment, do you think the deleted scenes are going to be worth it? Or are there enough goings in the tea leaves to make you go, you know what, I'm good, I'd rather just stay home and move on with the rest of my film and movie and game backlog or what have you? Let me know your guys' opinions down below. And remember to thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Subscribe for more Spider-Man and Batman-centric content on this channel. And as always, guys, stay humble.